Well, hey, happy Wednesday, and welcome back to another session of Midweek Musings, this time where we remind ourselves of one truth from the previous week's scriptures in the sermon that we were covering on Sunday morning. And so this past week, we were in the last chapter of Book of John, and we saw Jesus refer to people as sheep and lambs, but more than that, he referred to them as my sheep and my lambs. And we talked about how big that is for us to comprehend, that the people we meet are potential sheep to be of Jesus, and how that changes how we are to interact with each and every person that we meet, where we live, where we work, and where we play. And as I was thinking about what might be able to remind us of this truth, I read a quote that took my attention to the moon. And I want to bring the attention of the moon to you as well. Right now, the moon is beautiful, right? This time of year, the fall, the moon just seems to dazzle in a way that it doesn't in other times of the year. And this quote that I heard that kind of had me thinking, had me musing about what we learned from John chapter 21 is this. And it's from an old man in Africa, speaking to anyone really who would listen to him. And he says, we must strive to be like the moon. We must strive to be like the moon. Now, the author of this book who heard this quote said he was confused by this and didn't quite understand what it meant. So he asked his grandmother. And his grandmother simply started talking about the moon, which you see here, right? And likened it to say, well, sometimes the sun comes out and we complain that it's hot. We complain that it's too bright. We complain about all kinds of things when the sun comes out. But when the moon comes out, people are mostly thankful. People hardly have anything to complain about. They like the light that it gives. They like the way it can glow and light up even the darkest nights. And so we must strive to be like the moon. But here's my question for you. Does the moon produce its own light? No. The moon simply reflects the light of the sun. And so this is what I want us to think about every time we look at the moon, and we adore it, and we are thankful for it, and we are amazed by it. I want it to remind us that as we look at our own lives, as we are interacting with people who are potential sheep to be of Jesus, what's the best way to help them into the fold of Jesus, to lead them to their true shepherd, Jesus? Well, by being like the moon, by reflecting the light of Jesus to them. So as you finish out this week, look at the moon. And as you look at the moon, may it remind you to strive to be like the moon, where you live, where you work, where you play. And being like the moon, in that we reflect the light of Jesus. We reflect the light of our Creator to those we meet. And we hope and pray that as they interact with our reflection of the light of the Son of God, Jesus, that they would be drawn to the true source of this light, which is the Son himself, which is Jesus himself. So, desire and strive to be like the moon, reflecting the light of Christ where you live, where you work, where you play. And as we do, I believe that God will in fact use those things to lead these would-be sheep to actually become his sheep and find satisfaction and joy and fulfillment like nowhere else than in the fold, in the arms of their Creator. Have a blessed week.